Doctor on New Year's Eve, guys. Vlogmas day 31, last day for me. New Year's Eve, yes. Be right back. A routine pee test. Here we are again at the doctor. Oh boy. I don't want to start telling you guys about what I told you I was going to tell you about in yesterday's vlog, about the townhome that I rented, and about having to make a complaint to the BBB because if I'm in the middle of a story and a doctor walks in or a midwife, I'm gonna have to stop. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys know what it is when I leave here. Alright.
Hello!
Hi.
How are you, darling?
Good. How's everything?
I like your hair. It's all cute and pretty. Ready to roll for the new year.
Yep.
Is there anything going on you wanted to make sure to talk about today? Problems or questions?
No, I'm just feeling a lot of pressure. Like, it's hard to sit down and stand up. So.
Do you feel like your baby's hanging between your knees? Okay. I just remember that feeling. like the baby's like so low.
Last time I was here, the sonographer said that he was breached.
Oh no. Let's tell him to cut that out right now.
Yeah.
Let's have a look on position of baby. How low baby is for you. Be nice to your mother, baby. Baby's already flipped. That's the head. Yep. That's where my neck is. And the head's not even super down in the pelvis, because, you know, the head, if the neck is here, then, you know, the baby's head is here. It's not way down to where I can barely find that neck down here. I'm not worried about the pelvis. How about contractions, though? Do you notice those every once in a while?
I just get like light cramps here and there, but
So when your belly, when you have a contraction and that belly's really hard, or when you're feeling a lot of pressure, I want you to actually check and see if you're actually having a contraction, because that will be pushing the baby down. Sometimes that's why you feel that super intense pressure in the pelvic area. Just do a check here. You'll be like, okay, now my belly's soft, not a contraction, it's just really the position, or wow, it is really hard. Not usually painful at 30 weeks, so you have to actually check for them. But if it's hard, then you'll recognize that. And if that's happening occasionally, rarely, that's normal, you know. But if it were to happen regularly for several hours, that wouldn't be normal. So if you have 3 hours of kind of several contractions in an hour and a lot of pressure, that's kind of my time that I like you guys to go ahead and come in and be evaluated. Because usually if you're feeling a little crampy or whatever, you drink some water and you lay down and it goes away, and that's normal. Good job, baby. Did you get a flu shot? No. Are you willing to get a flu shot? Are you planning to get a Tdap? How do you really feel about it? Sounds like you're not sure.
no, I'm not. I think
Hey, So if things are good, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, guys. So you heard it. The baby's head is down. The baby's head is down. He has turned and is ready to come out. I'm so happy. I wasn't really worried, honestly, but there was like that slight little possibility of him not turning, so I was a little nervous, but it's fine. He's down, and that's probably why I've been feeling a lot of pressure. So, but she didn't even have to do a sonogram to tell. She just, you know, felt the heartbeat, heard the heartbeat further down, which is usually like up, but this time it was down. So she like put her hands like around his neck, like she could feel his neck, she said. So I'm so happy. Yay! All right, now quick story time. Let's see. Let me put this here. Oh shit. Okay. Alright, give me a second. Let me lock my doors. Let me check my text. Send over. All right, so this is what happened with the the townhome that I had rented. All right, so basically because I was moving from New York to Atlanta, and I wasn't like staying in a hotel or anything like that. I was literally like just coming down and moving right in. It was kind of like a situation where it was like you kind of had to settle, because it's like, yeah, I seen this apartment, or yeah, I seen this townhome when I was like visiting different townhomes and stuff. But what they do a lot of the times in Georgia is they'll show you a sample home, and then the home that you actually get the day of the lease signing is obviously an empty home, and it's used because the sample homes are not used. They're just there for example and sample, and for tours, and for people to you know, just see the model and the layout of the apartment or the home that they're going to get. So basically when you're moving long distance, you kind of take a chance, because it's like you give them all this paperwork and stuff like that, and then it's kind of like you move in. Yeah, you do a walkthrough when you move in, but at the end of the day you can't really say nothing, because it's like if you don't like something, or if something needs to be constructed, or you're just like, oh, this is not what I thought it was, or this is nothing like the sample home because someone just moved out of it and they didn't do a good job at cleaning it, or whatever the case is, it's kind of like I just moved here from another state, so what am I gonna do? Stay in a hotel for a week or 2 weeks until this apartment is done and fixed and clean and painted? Or are you guys gonna find me another place to live? Or so it's just like kind of like, damn, like you kind of just have to settle, because what are you gonna do? Spend more money staying in a hotel? So it's like you kind of just deal with the little things or whatever. So that was the problem that I had. Basically there was like little things that I was just like, what is this, or what's going on, this, that, and the third. And I had seen an apartment the first time. I didn't even see a townhome. I seen an apartment, and the apartment was just like was just like, what the hell is this? It reminded me of like, honestly, a project apartment. It was just bigger. It had two full bathrooms. That was the only thing. So it was just like, what? Like, no, this is not gonna work. So literally they had showed me a townhome, something bigger, you know, but it wasn't two full bathrooms. It was 1.5. So I was just like, you know what, I don't even care. I wanted Kimani to have his own bathroom, but it wasn't that serious to me. This is way bigger. This is, you know, better. It doesn't look like, you know, a project home, whatever. So basically I had settled on the townhome. And even with the townhome, there was like little problems, like the cabinet, the bottoms of the the floors of the cabinet, like looking like dingy and stuff like that. And like just little things here and there. So let me see, where am I going? So I just decided to just deal with it because, like I said, I have been through a lot with the paperwork process, and I was not about to sit here and pay for a hotel for like a month until they got it together, or sit here and try to see about another apartment, because mind you, they still have to do all of this stuff, run your credit. Paperwork takes days, sometimes weeks, and they get back to you, and it's just too much. So I just settled for a lot of things that was not okay, and they promised me that they would like fix this, fix that, and it would be cool. So I met the maintenance guy, and he was like a Hispanic guy, and he saw my Jersey place, and he was like, oh, you're from Jersey? Me too. I moved here like 10 years ago, blah blah blah. So we got pretty cool. He gave me his personal cell phone number, and it just made me feel a lot better because he was the manager of maintenance in that complex. So it made me feel a lot better, like, okay, things are definitely gonna get done. He promised me a chandelier, a nice chandelier. He said he was gonna order this, order that for the apartment, I mean for the townhome or whatever, and everything was gonna be fine. So I'm like, okay, cool. There was also like an outlet that was like hanging, like wires all exposed and stuff like that, and I knew Kimani would be coming there in like 2 weeks. I was gonna go back and pick him up, so I needed like everything to be fixed before then. So I gave him a list of the things. I texted him a list of the things that I needed him to do or whatever, and he even wrote down some things that he noticed, like, you know, the vents were dusty. I needed them to be like changed, and the covers to be changed and wiped down, and some of the nails were loose, you know, things like that. So he said okay, whatever. And like a day passed by, a week passed by, and I hit him up, and then he said, yeah, I'm gonna come as soon as I get a chance. I'm gonna come today. Never came. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to come tomorrow. Never came. And it's just like, what is going on? So I go online on the portal, and I saw that you could like put in service requests or whatever like that. So that's how I started doing it. Instead of going through him, I started just putting in service requests, and I didn't know how he would feel about it, but I honestly didn't care because things wasn't being done, you know. So I put in like, I think I put in like 2 service requests for like something small to see like how long it would take. And then one of the other guys came, not the manager, but one of the people that's under him came, fixed, you know, whatever. And then I was like, okay, so this is how I'm gonna do things. I'm not gonna go through him, I'm not gonna text him, I'm gonna just put in the service request. So then COVID happened, and they started saying that they're not coming to people's homes, and this and the third. So like literally like all of those months, there was like, excuse me, the electricity thing exposed, because the guy said that he couldn't fix it at the time, he had to come back. So that was exposed for months during COVID. I even said, like, because they have the keys to your place, so I even said, oh, can you just go in while I'm not there? I'll wait outside or whatever. And they was like, oh, we'll see. Never got back to me. And it's just like, okay, this is starting to be like very unprofessional. And at that point, Kimani was there, so it's like, okay, you have a 9-year-old kid living in the house. These electric wires are exposed, like cabinets like looking crazy, like how am I supposed to put my stuff in here? Just mad, you know, BS or whatever. So I just like dealt with it. I tried to make the best of it, putting down cabinet liners and, you know, stuff like that. Just so then COVID passed and things started coming back, you know, normal, and they started coming in people's homes again. You just got to answer the COVID questions or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So that's when I started putting in mad requests. And a lot of the requests, they was just like, oh, we can't do that, or oh, we don't do that. And it's just like, what do you mean you don't do that? This has been looking crazy like this since before I moved in. So it needs to be done, like something needs to be done, you know? And it's just like so annoying. So then I wanted to break my lease because I honestly felt like what I was paying wasn't worth the trouble that I was going through with them. So I asked about breaking my lease because I actually had a 6-month lease with the option to extend the lease. When I was at my 6-month mark, I couldn't move because COVID was going on and everything like that, and it was just like, okay, where am I gonna go? Like, I did start looking for places, but I knew it was gonna be hard, so I made the decision not to go. So I'm just like, let me just stay here, whatever. So I wound up extending the lease to another 12 months. I don't know why it wouldn't be another 6 months, but it was another 12 months. So I did that. So after all of that shit that was going on, and they were just being unprofessional, wasn't getting the job done, started falling off, they wasn't calling me back, you know, wasn't emailing me back, just mad unprofessional shit. I decided that I wanted to break the lease. So I found out what the, you know, requirements were, and I said, okay, I had to give them 60 days. So I said, okay, can you put it in now? Put in my 60 days now so that, you know, when I'm ready, I could just, you know, leave. So one of the requirements was to pay a month in advance, give them 60-day notice, and pay an extra month in advance. And yeah, who's doing that? So basically I was kind of like fed up with them because I had emailed the manager, the office manager, whatever, and she kind of got snotty with me, and I was just like, oh no. So basically I was trying to get in contact with headquarters to speak to somebody, you know, from the top, instead of dealing with these miserable employees in the office. And they was like, oh, they don't give us contact information for them, and we don't have this for them, and we don't have that. Basically like saying that it's impossible to speak to someone. So yeah, I found a way. I did some research, I found a way, and I contacted somebody from the top. I had got her voicemail because they were like working from home and stuff like that. She never contacted me back. So I'm like, okay, this is just all around unprofessional situation. Cool, no problem. So I gladly made a report with the BBB, and basically I told them that the resolution that I wanted was for my early termination fee to be waived, because also you put your security deposit at risk as well. So like literally when you do that, you don't get your security deposit back. Yeah, so my bad about that. So yeah, so for my resolution, I basically was like, I want that 1 month fee waived, and I want my security deposit back. I mean, in Georgia, they don't do it like New York, where the security deposit is what your rent is. I guess they base it off your credit or whatever. So my security deposit was $100, but I still wanted my shit back. So yeah, so basically that was my resolution. And literally maybe like, I think the next day they was contacting me like, hey, we see that you put in a complaint and blah blah blah. Yeah, I sure did, because like I shouldn't be dealing with or going through half the shit that I'm going through when it comes to maintenance and things like that. Like I remember one time a maintenance guy was coming to fix like one of the eyes on my stove, and he had put on a new knob or whatever for whatever reason, and I heard him downstairs or whatever. I was like in my bed, and it was maybe like 9 o'clock in the morning. I heard him downstairs. I'm like, okay, so he finally came, whatever. While I hear him walking up the steps, I'm like, okay, that's mad weird. And then he knocks on my bedroom door, and I'm like, yes. And then he's like, oh, can you come down? I want to show you something. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be right there. And then I come down and he's like, oh, I just wanted you to know that I put on this knob and it doesn't fit, so I'm gonna go and check for a new one and I'm gonna come back. I'm like thinking to myself, like, okay, so you did all of that, came up the steps and all of that. Like, I could have been getting out the shower, no towel on, a towel on, whatever it is, like, and you just walk up the steps and roam around my townhome and knock on my door to tell me that. I'm like, that's crazy. Clearly he had a motive, but I don't know. But I just think that was just unprofessional. And I didn't report it and I didn't say anything, but maybe I should have, you know? But yeah, they wound up reaching out to headquarters or whatever, and they wound up coming to an agreement with me when I asked them before that, you know, like, can we sit and talk about this and figure something out and come to an agreement. They was like, no, this is what it is, this, that, and third. Clearly that's not what it is, because as soon as I went to the BBB, all of a sudden they want to work with me and they want to do all of this and ask me to take down the complaint. Oh, okay, as long as my requirements are met now, cool, I'll take down the complaint. And then when I move out, I'm still gonna post a Google review so other people can know what the hell is going on with this place. So it was just annoying, and it sucks that I had to go through that, my first place living there, but I guess you live and you learn, so it is what it is, guys. But yeah, I hope you guys learn from what I went through, what I go through, and listen to my stories and take them serious. And yeah, so I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side. Happy New Year!